Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So this is gonna be a spoiler-filled reading vlog for the third book in the Court of Thorns and Roses series by S.J.Maas. So I'm mainly gonna do updates like every 100 pages of the book or when anything really interesting happens. I'm gonna tell you if I think the book is worth reading, how the reading experience was, and kind of how it measures up to the first two books that I read. In this vlog, I also will haul a couple books because I've been doing a little bit too much book shopping. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this and get ready for my ranty and, I don't know, excited thoughts. Hi guys, so I thought I would do my first update for Court of Wings and Ruin. I've basically read all of part 1. I don't think I'm gonna update super often because this book is like literally 700 pages long, so if I update you guys very often, this video is gonna be like an hour. But so far we have Feyre in the Spring Court, and I really like seeing how S.J.Maas writes her deception and how she's trying to, I don't know, just play the part of her kind of older self. And I think it's really nice because it's like reflective over how much she's changed and like how much stronger she is. So I think that's what we see in like character reflection. She's thinking about how different things were before. So yeah, I'm enjoying that aspect of the characters a lot. Also, we are kind of seeing the beginning of Lucienne like redemption arc, which I kind of support. So yeah, we're seeing that and I really like it, to be honest, because I always liked Lucian. So although like he didn't do enough to protect Feyre in like the second book, I still really like him as a character. So really interesting seeing them kind of teaming up again, joining forces a bit to kind of, I don't know, challenge Tamlin a bit, not very overtly, but at least like slightly. And we also have all this political, like these political plots with the Prince and Princess of Hybern and Jurian, I think his name is. And also they're like S.J.Maas is definitely hinting at a Jurian, like not necessarily redemption, but I feel like his character is not what we thought. So I think there's some potential there for him to surprise us as a character. But yeah, other than that, I am enjoying it so far. And so I've just started part 2, which is Cursebreaker. And basically, her and Lucienne have just tried to winnow or escape kind of into the Autumn Court, which is so nice. I love seeing different courts. I feel like the world building and the description when new courts are introduced are some of my favorite parts of the books. So yeah, that is all I'm going to say for now. I'm going to continue reading this and I'll probably update you guys after another like 150 pages. Welcome back. So I have read almost 200 pages. I'm chapter 18, so 185 pages. So I'm finding the action a lot more slow burn than than the second book, Court of Mist and Fury. Right now, basically, Lucian is in the Winter Court with Feyre. He is getting familiar with kind of how they act, how they do business. He's obviously seeing Valerius for the first time. Is that how you pronounce it? Anyway, but yeah, I don't know, it's a little bit slow right now. I'm not sure if that's only me who finds that with the beginning of this book, but it's a little slow. So I want to see more. I really want to see Lucian and Elaine interact. They're really dragging that one out because right now they've got this whole, Lucian can't go near her thing. So I think that is something that's kind of fun, something to look forward to. Sorry. But yeah, overall, it doesn't feel like a ton is happening right now. I mean, we're mostly just discussing about how war is going to, I don't know, come about, sorry. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to update with you guys, but also I bought a new book, so I thought I would show you that as well. So the book I bought, this was very much an impulse buy, but I hadn't seen this edition yet anywhere online or at a bookstore. Maybe it's not that difficult to find, I've just never seen it. So I decided to get it, and that is basically Edith Wharton's most famous novels, like all three in one big bind up. So this is The House of Mirth, The Custom of the Country, and The Age of Innocence. So it's all three novels in one, and it's got this really beautiful art style that I think is super cute. And yeah, this is a Penguin Deluxe edition. I really love these. The illustrations are always like different. It's always a different artist, and the deco pages are super cute. So yeah, anyway, to be honest, I don't remember much about each of these novels, but they all take place in New York as far as I'm concerned, and they're just, I think, about society and women and like social interaction. I mean, I think it gives me a bit of Jane Austen vibes. So yeah, I wish I had a better description for you, but yeah, that is the new book I also bought. Okay, so welcome back. I think it's already like the second week that I'm reading this, but I'm almost 300 pages in. I still feel the same way as I think I mentioned in the last clip, which is just that the book is going way slower than A Court of Mist and Fury, and I think the action is a little more slow burn. I don't know, at least it seems to me. And also I think because in the second book we had Feyre and Rhys's relationship developing, that was like super interesting, and that was like another whole plot point in itself, in my opinion. And in this one we have two kind of secondary romances, just like Nesta and Cassian developing, and then Elaine and Lucian. I mean, they have barely interacted yet, but I think that's my favorite romantic subplot, because that one is really slow burn at the moment. But yeah, right now what is happening, I do think the story has started to pick up a bit more. We found out from the bone carver, so they go to visit the bone carver to see if he will like rally or like join with them to fight against Hybern. And we find out that Nesta, I'm not really sure what it is exactly, but we find out that Nesta is some sort of I don't know, fae with like powers of death or some very powerful dark magic. So yeah, I don't know. Nesta is not a character that's super fleshed out right now, so I don't really know like what to feel about her, and it's because I just don't think that we're given enough information on her and like why she acts the way she does, why she thinks the way she does. So yeah, but other than that, basically I think they're back on the mountain again, if I'm not mistaken. So back in the Court of Nightmares. And they're having a big meeting, and the heir to the Autumn Court is there, which previously attacked Lucien and Vera. So things should get really more dramatic, I hope. And yeah, also I've neglected this a bit because I actually picked up more momentum with The Count of Monte Cristo, which is another book that I'm reading right now. And it got to a really exciting and interesting part. So I started really enjoying this again, and this is kind of my priority for this month as well. So I will be trying to finish this, but they're kind of battling for my attention at the moment. So yeah, the pace has picked up again in this book, so that's why I've been a little neglectful of this one, because the action just feels a little slow. But anyway, sorry, the lighting has gone really strange. Okay, but anyway, that's it. I will update you again when I've read probably another 100 pages or something. Hi guys, so it's been kind of a while since I last talked about A Court of Wings and Ruin, I think. Basically, I am almost 400 pages in now, but I don't know, it's kind of boring me a bit. And I feel really sad to say that because I had so much fun with the second book, and I gave the second book like 5 stars, which is super unexpected. But this one, I just think the action is moving so slowly. Like basically, the part of the book that I'm in right now is that we've had the battle at the summer court, and so politically, like there's some things happening there because Tarquin, the head of the summer court, basically sent them like a death threat or like a threat because of how they acted last time they were in the summer court. So kind of relationships are being mended there, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I just I feel like the action is like super lagging in this right now, and I don't know. I'm just kind of trying to get through it at this point. I did see a huge spoiler in an Instagram reel, which is just great. And not something I expected, but the thing with the spoiler is that I won't say it now. But I think it's gonna be resolved. Like, it's not a spoiler that I think it's gonna be a cliffhanger necessarily. Actually, it might. But I don't think I'm gonna read the next book because I think this is kind of putting me in a reading slump. Like, February is such a good reading month for me. Like, I'm in the mood to read like everything, even though I have like 0 time. So yeah, I don't know. It's not great for my my reading mood that I'm in the middle of 2 really long books right now. So yeah, I'm just kind of trying to get through it. I've heard that the meeting with the High Lords in this book of all the courts is really interesting. My friend said that that's like her favorite part of this book, I think. So I'm really excited for that. I think that's actually gonna be released soon. So I'm kind of trying to get to that part, see where it goes. But yeah, I'm gonna stop talking about this book. I actually have 3 books to haul. So I have some new books that I'm really excited about. So the first one I have is a new fantasy book, and it's called Song of Silver Flame, like night. And it's by the same author who wrote the Blood Heir trilogy, which I've never read. Guys, why is everything a duology these days though? Because I was like trying to pick up a fantasy standalone because I feel like I don't have that many fantasy standalones on my shelf that I can reach for, and so this sounded really interesting. I was like, surely this is a standalone. It's a duology. And it just came out. I mean, the first book just came out, so who knows when the second book is gonna come out. So I think I'm gonna just like let this marinate on my shelves for like a couple months. Because I don't know, I prefer reading duologies like when both books are out already because I'll probably forget what happens. But basically this book is about this girl called Lan, and I think these colonizers basically invaded the magical kingdom that she lives in, and she's got this kind of like mysterious mark on her skin, if I'm not mistaken. And she's trying to understand what this mark was because it was like burned into her skin before her mother died, I think. And she basically meets this guy called Sen, and he like mysteriously appears in like this tea house one night, and he tells her that I think he understands the mark, and basically she's got magical abilities, I think. However, he doesn't know everything about the sign, and he thinks it's like an indication that she's super powerful. And so I think they're gonna go on like a quest to find more answers about her hidden powers and her past. So I'm really excited. I love books that are like quests and like 2 characters go on an adventure together, especially if it's gonna be a little romance. So yeah, I am very excited about this, but I had no idea it was duology. So I'm a little upset because I'm not gonna read this now, because I also still have The Daughter of the Moon Goddess on my shelf, and that's also duology, which is finished, and I've been wanting to read for a while. So I think I'm gonna grab that before I grab this. But yeah, that is the first book. And then the second book is called Godsmeersham Park. I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but it's by Gil Hornby. Basically, I think that this is a Jane Austen inspired story. And so basically, I think it is about a governess, and she comes to stay at Godmersham Park. And I think there's gonna be like a little romance between her and one of the like Austen brothers. And it says that she's like drawn into the lives of the Austens. So it sounds super good. This cover is so pretty. It's literally the same color as my wall. And yeah, it just sounds so nice. I'm kind of in the mood for something like this, like historical. I recently just saw the 2020 adaptation of Emma with my friends, and it was so beautiful. I loved it. And that's really put me in the mood for something like this, so I might pick it up soon. I want to read like everything right now. February is always that month for me, but these two long books are holding me back. So yeah, I'm really trying to be diligent and continue with these books so that I can like get to all of these other new books that I have. So the other book I bought is another book which I've seen recommended by so many booktubers, so many just channels I know, and that is Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. This is apparently gives like Studio Ghibli vibes, like Howl's Moving Castle vibes, which sounds really good. I think Howl's Moving Castle is so cute. So I'm really excited about this. And also, yeah, lots of people that I trust have recommended this and said that it's really good. So I've been wanting to read it for ages. There's a little cue mark for you. And I think it has to do with like this girl who's raised in this like grand library. And she has to like team up with this like enemy, which is like the sorcerer. And I think it's gonna be like an enemies to lovers kind of thing. And this is a standalone, so at least I did something right. So actually, I would love to read this really soon. So I'm really excited for this, and it's kind of perfect timing that I bought this this month because the author recently published like a little novella. I think it's like Mysteries of Thorn Manor, which is related to this story. So if I really love this, I can also read that if I feel sad about leaving this world. But yeah, anyway, I hope you enjoyed that little mini haul. I'm super excited about all these books, and I'm just gonna try to continue reading A Court of Wings and Ruin and update you probably in the next 100 pages. Hopefully I get to the meeting with all the High Lords soon, because apparently that's a good scene, but I don't know how I feel about it right now. I'm kind of disappointed. So I don't know, let me know, because I feel like most people's favorite book is the second one in the series, so kind of disappointed. But then I've heard that lots of people really like A Court of Mist and Fury, and then also A Court of Silver Flames. Okay, so I have finally arrived at the meeting of the High Lord scene, and it was very entertaining. There was lots of drama. We met a ton of the other High Lords, and the setting was super beautiful. The meeting takes place in the Court of Dawn, I think, and the place descriptions are super nice, super aesthetic. I want more of that. I feel like until they got to the Dawn Court, how many pages in am I? Like 400 pages in, there wasn't as much nice like world building, place description, and that is what I loved about the second book. So it was super entertaining. I have many thoughts. So when I read the first book, there was like many little like phrases and just like ways that S.J.Maas writes that I found really cringy and kind of funny. And in the second book, I definitely like paid less attention to that because I was just enjoying the book so much that I kind of like was less critical and kind of just enjoyed the book. But it's so hard to ignore some of the cringy things that she writes in this book. For example, I mean, let me just read this to you. Like, she says, okay, this is about, I think, the High Lord of the Winter Court and his wife. She writes, "They went an hour later to a temple and swore their vows. And that night, during the Vivian grinned at Moore. The mating bond at last snapped into place." Like, just the way that she writes things sometimes, like the fact that she like pauses in the middle of that sentence to say during the like nudge nudge, like it's just, it really like she just like sometimes she writes things that I feel like really takes me out of the mood, the vibe, the setting, and that is one of them. I mean, yeah, and also obviously there's still the maid thing and the calling all the like male fairies male all the time, and I know that's not that weird because like technically they're not human, so you can't really say man, but like she just places so much emphasis on it. Like there's a sentence where it's like he was a better man dash male, like the way she has to correct for male, I just don't understand why it's so important. But anyway, back to the drama, back to the happenings. So the action was super entertaining. There was several little arguments, lots of talking really bad stuff about other people and insulting other people. So Azriel goes like ham on, don't remember which High Lord it is, but one of them. I think his name's Eris or Eric, the one of the Autumn Court heirs. He is seemingly getting a bit of a redemption arc starting. He is reacting very differently to his father, to like the more scandalous stuff, and he seems more like receptive to Feyre and Rhys's like arguments for why they should ally with them. So yeah. Another thought is that I think his name's Hellion, so the High Lord of the Day Court. So I mean, the name is coming from Helios, which is like the sun. I really love him as a character. I feel like he should get a spin-off romance series that S.J.Maas does, because I just think there's many interesting parts of that character. Like he's got these libraries and like huge knowledge, I think. I don't know, and I just think the setting would be super nice in the Court of Day. So I think we're the Court of the Sun. Guys, I'm sorry. So yeah, I think we should get a Hellion spin-off. Kind of similar to the Kingdom of the Wicked series. I really enjoyed that series. I enjoyed the second book the most. The first book was kind of boring in my opinion, but the second book I really loved. And I feel like similarly with that series, like with this world building and all these different characters, like there's so much good potential for like spin-off series with the different High Lords and new settings. So that is something that I really love. It's like how much it could like expand, which is kind of what she does in the Court of Silver Flames, because we get, I think, Nesta and Cassian. So yeah, the action finally got more exciting, but it's like I had to wait like 400 pages for that to happen. So yeah, also Tamlin. Oh my god, how did I not mention Tamlin? So Tamlin is just like full villain, disgusting. We hate him now. But it is really entertaining to see him observe Rhys and Feyre, and also Rhys like magics his mouth shut, and it's super entertaining. So I loved the little spats and arguments with Tamlin at the meeting of all the High Lords. It was super entertaining. So yeah, it took a long time for this scene to happen though, and before this scene, honestly, like I did not care about the action very much. So I am enjoying it more now. I'm excited to continue to see how like the High Lords and everyone interacts with each other, and how the war kind of continues, because I think things are finally starting to pick up and get more tense. But yeah, that is my current update on the Court of Wings and Ruin. I would love to finish this today, but let's be realistic, that's not gonna happen. So yeah, but anyway, I will update you next time, probably in another 100 pages or near the end / when I finish the book. Okay, I have a just tiny update, but I have to speak about this. So Hellion is basically explaining his past history, with him actually being like the secret lover of the Lady of the Autumn Court. So it's super interesting. It's kind of sad. And then Feyre basically pieces together this big piece of information, which is that Hellion is actually Lucien's father, which is crazy to me. And also, I love it. this is convincing me further that we need like a Hellion Lucian like prequel thing. I would read it because I think these characters are so interesting. Super interested in this history. So yeah, that was crazy to me, and I'm really enjoying it, and I really hope that it's revealed to Lucian and to Hellion that they're related, because they have no idea at the moment. So yeah, and they're still at the day court. So sorry, dawn court. So I'm really enjoying the fact that they're still at that setting. Nesta is kind of worried. She feels like something is wrong. We don't know what that is yet, but there's so many opportunities for things to go wrong, so exciting stuff. Okay everyone, welcome to the official last clip of this reading vlog. It has been a journey. This took me a long time to read. I think it took me at least like 2 weeks to read. So needless to say, most of my February TBR has not been achieved. But anyway, we have a lot to talk about. I think when I last talked, I was talking about them going to war, and I think the High Lord meeting. Basically, since that has happened, Elaine has basically been abducted. So Feyre like dresses up as Ianthe, that high priestess, and goes to get Elaine back. So lots more has happened. Also, I wrote this down as a note. I had some notes. But Azriel and Elaine, like, is that potential romance that S.J.Maas is trying to do? Just because like they have a few like kind of romantic moments. Like I think he gives her like this dagger that he never lets anyone touch, and like the reactions of everyone around him are like kind of really surprised and stuff, and they do have some sweet moments together. So I don't know if that's like a ship, but I did see some fan art of Elaine and Azriel together, so I don't know if that's like a ship or like a real thing. I don't know if that's a spoiler for the next book or two. But anyway, so I thought, I don't know, things would pick up more with Lucian. To be fair, like nothing has happened between her and Lucian basically at all, so it's a bit boring. But I was kind of hoping that she'd end up with him, because it's like at this point, like the three sisters are just dating the three, like the bad boys, like they're just dating, like they're the same group of friends, which is a little bit boring to me. Anyway, what else? Okay, Amren, for a second we thought she was a snake, absolute snake. So she basically tricks Feyre and doesn't help her with the cauldron spell. So I was like really annoyed at that moment. I was like, I hate Amren, blah blah blah. To be honest, I never really loved Amren. Like, she's just a bit annoying. Like, I know that she's supposed to be that like quirky, like dark figure, but like she's just a bit annoying in my opinion. But yeah, other than that, oh my god, okay, so I was going to talk about this earlier when mentioning the book, but their father, their dad, is like, his lack of presence in the books is like it just doesn't exist. And so I was like saying like, oh, like his character is a bit boring, because I feel like it's really one-dimensional. The first 1 or 2 books, he was just like this figure in the background who was like their dad, and he was very like, not distant, but like not really, I don't know, not really present. They didn't seem to have a good relationship with him, but he shows up to basically save them with a big fleet of ships. So that was a nice moment. But then she decides to kill him. So it's like when we finally get this like reintroduction of his character, and I was hoping for like some more backstory, some more interaction between the sisters and him, like S.J.Maas just kills him off, which is, we're like really sad. Like he had this big redeeming hero moment for his lack of action, like as their father, and then he dies, so we don't really get to see that interaction. So that wasn't my favorite thing. I'm sorry, I'm jumping from thing to thing, but this is what the inside of my brain looks like. Okay, and then Feyre also retrieves the mirror. As expected, she's not afraid of what she sees. It's a little bit cheesy. She sees her real self, which is like a beast. So it's a little bit cheesy, but it's fine. The Carver is also released, so that's good, I guess. What else? What else? Oh my god. Okay, so this is a spoiler. I think I may have mentioned this or not, but I saw like a massive spoiler for something that happens in this book on Instagram, and that was that Reese dies. I think it's like towards the end of the book. And yeah, he basically gets saved very similarly as Feyre got saved. So after I saw that spoiler, I was like, okay, like it's pretty predictable in the sense that like I know he's gonna get saved because there's like 2 more books. He's definitely gonna be in those books. So like I wasn't really worried about him at all. One other thing I found really sweet. I generally love the dynamics between like their friend group, their found family kind of thing. If you love found family, this is definitely like really highlights that. And Reese gives like this big cheesy, I mean it's like I mean I really enjoyed it, but like maybe it's cheesy, it's big cheesy speech before they really go into battle about how grateful he is for them and everything. And I really enjoyed that moment actually. I thought it was really nice. The action elements, so I mean, as I said, like the first, I'd say like 2/3 of the book is action that doesn't really have to do with the war. It's kind of like little side quests, a little bit boring, but the last third is like basically all war. And I personally enjoyed those action scenes more. So yeah, I liked the action way more towards the end, and obviously a lot more was happening, and also there was like a lot of reveals and stuff at the end. Like, I'm trying to think of characters. There's so many characters in this, but like there's these figures, Miriam and Drakon, I think, who I think were like allied with the humans or something, and so there's like some reveals about them and everything. And Jurian kind of gets redeemed, I think. And yeah, I'm still really curious about Elaine's romance. I'm still going back to that because she's engaged to that man who hates Faye. Weird. Lucien is her mate, right? But then like Azriel, there's like really romantic moments with him. So she's thrown us a lot of lines. And I don't know which one I'm gonna like catch. But also yeah, Feyre takes more charge at the end, and she calls a meeting with the High Lords to try to revise the treaty, basically. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I'm gonna leave my thoughts about it there. I'm not sure exactly what rating I'm gonna give this yet. Probably, in reality, it's probably like more like a 3.5, but I'll probably round it to 4. Honestly, like these books are really fun to read, but like I'm a little bit like emotionally exhausted from like reading these books. Like it's like I have like a book hangover. Like my brain kind of just hurts, like, and like emotionally, like I'm just a bit like scarred from spending so much time with these people who just like absolutely go through it. So I feel like I just need like a breather after reading this really intense series, because it is really intense. And I think I'm just gonna get back to my classic, The Count of Monte Cristo, and continue that, because yeah, really want to finish that. And after that, I think I actually might do a video annotating Emma by Jane Austen, because I saw the movie, the 2020 adaptation, for the first time last week, and I absolutely loved it. Watched it twice, so I might do that. But other than that, I'll probably try to read some like more standalone fantasy, not shorter fantasy. I want to read shorter books now, just to like break up all this really intense reading. Like I basically read this, like binged this series in a row. I didn't read anything between it. And that was pretty intentional, because like I kind of like to stay in a world while I'm like reading a series. I don't really like to take a lot of breaks. Like like if I read a fantasy series, I'll read like one other book in between a book in a series, like max. But yeah, anyway, I really hope that you enjoyed this vlog. It was a long time in the making, kind of. And yeah, I think I will eventually return back to the novella and to A Court of Silver Flames, but not anytime in the near future because there's so many other fantasy books I want to read, and I just need to I just need a moment after being traumatized by these books. But anyway, yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next video.